I missed the bang icon and lemon on the old one, but all in all, it didn't really change that much. The old Pepsi logo was actually one of my favorites, and I think it was very well designed. The new logo looks like a remake of the one from the 70s and 80s, which is cool, but it's more cartoony and doesn't have the same sophistication and freshness as the previous one. Why get rid of the orange? And why get rid of the bubbly font? The old Fanta logo was another one of my favorites, with so much personality packed into it. It's one that's been with us for a while, and one that I was really hoping wouldn't see a redesign. Although their original packaging is my favorite, they've been going with a similar theme for a while. So last year when they changed it to a flat cartoony design, it was kind of a shock. I guess other people didn't love it either, cause it only took a year to change it again, this time to one that resembles the old packaging more than any other iterations, and I think it's a huge improvement. Sprite ditching the lemon, Fanta with the orange and leaf, and Minute Maid with the grassy hills. Why are we trying to forget nature exists? Nature-inspired designs are some of my favorite, and as humans, I believe there's something about them that sits right with us. And while the new packaging does look really good, I thought it was interesting that they decided to remove the hills. The old Lunchables packaging had a pretty distinct early 2000s feeling about it, almost Frutiger Metro. The new one feels like it's trying to be something out of Whole Foods. The little people are a nice touch, but the muted colors and protein bar font just doesn't compare to what it used to be. This new packaging is simplified and the Yo Crunch font changed. While the old branding leaned Frutiger Arrow, I admit that it did kind of look dated, and the new one is a bit more crisp. However, I am sad about the fact that they got rid of the cute M&M mascot. This one reminds me of what Danimals and Lunchables did. It's flatter and has a more homemade kind of look, but it's a fruit roll-up, and the shiny, wacky logo was more unashamed of the fact that it was just candy. And while it's not bad, the new logo just looks kind of generic. The old packaging feels nostalgic, with the jumbo raised text, flavor swoosh, and the pool water background, because drumsticks are a summer pool day favorite. But the new packaging looks more appetizing, and the drumstick for the eye is a nice touch. However, there's just something about the old one that oozes personality and really makes me miss it. The old Baskin-Robbins logo looks like how the inside of the store smells, with the cheerful pink and blue and the funky font that matches the zany 90s Memphis art style found on the interior of many stores. The new logo returns to a more retro look, except it doesn't return at all, because Baskin-Robbins never had a logo that looked like this. The retro thing was probably done just because it's a trending rebrand trope. The blue being replaced with brown also reduces some of that iconic Baskin-Robbins vibe. They changed the cool font and made it look like TJ Maxx. The main logo is really cool though. I hope they never change that box design. This one is actually growing on me. The bad is that they ditched the optical illusion B, but I do think that the new font is pretty neat, and the blurple, which I usually think is overused, is actually working for this brand. The old one was more iconic, it had the swoosh and the cool font. The new one is modern and simple, but it just doesn't have as much interest. Nokia's old logo, being unchanged since the 70s, was about as iconic as you can get. And despite originating many decades ago, it remained a timeless logo. The new design uses a very different font and a color that looks less sophisticated. It's not bad, but given that the old one was so iconic, I think it'll be a couple of years before the new one starts to settle in. These logos are two of my favorite. I always found something appealing about the animal and element theme. The new simplified logos are pretty nice, but I do prefer the older ones. I feel like they have more character and charm. I thought that the old Google icons were really nice and some of my favorite logos. I've tried getting used to the new ones, but they just don't look as good. I almost find them to be a little off-putting. While the original Android logo is probably my favorite, I'm super excited about the new Bug Droid. The 3D look is great and reminds me of earlier days of Android, where the mascot was a more central focus of the company. The one thing I don't love about this logo is the uppercase A. It's been lowercase forever, and I don't think the capital looks as fluid. The old WD logo was straightforward and purposeful, and the orange color was a nice touch. The new font feels a bit bland, as it kind of looks like every other logo, but I do really like the colorful brand mark. This one really came out of nowhere, and the old Twitter branding was so cute with the bird theme and extremely iconic mascot. The new branding just doesn't have that cozy and unique vibe or the cute logo. I know that Elon Musk probably has big plans for X, and it may be the start of the company evolving into something new, but I still miss the old Twitter branding, and in the world of logos and marketing, I thought that it was really something special. NBC went from a Frutiger Arrow logo to flat design, which actually looks a lot like their 1986 logo. I will say that there's something special about those glossy 2010s designs, but the flattened logo doesn't look bad, and I actually like it. The old PBS Kids logo, which was relatively unchanged since 1999, was very iconic, and the mascot was an integral part of the brand. It being removed just feels kind of sad. The new blue color is also the same color that so many other logos have switched over to recently. The whole thing kind of feels like it lost a bit of personality.